Welcome to the Shootin' Show. Stand by for shots fired.
Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shootin' Show, and welcome to today's program. We're glad to have you with us. We're on a, shall we say, a hot, humid afternoon here in northwest Louisiana, but it's still a great day to be out shooting. Friends, where I tell you what, we're in literally the fight of our lives as Americans, because we have people who really want to tell us what to do in every facet of our lives, and they're working every day toward that end. Well, friends, they've got to be stopped, and we can still do it at the ballot box. However, we cannot let these people take away our rights to own and shoot guns of whatever type is available to most of us and have been for many years. You know, semi-automatics have been around for about 100 years, and they're under a terrible assault right now. And friends, we cannot allow, and as I've said many times, it won't be long until they call these revolvers semi-automatics because they fire every time you pull the trigger. So it's just another step in their plan of erosion to take away all our rights, not just our gun rights, all our rights. And friends, it has got to stop. We have got to prevent this, and with your help, we're going to do it. We need you to join the Shootin' Show Gun Club today. It helps keep us on the air. It helps reach more people for our project, for our point of view as normal Americans who happen to like and handle guns and shoot guns and certainly enjoy them. Well, let's get another Shootin' Show underway. Get my glasses on here. Yes, the humidity is so strong. That's one thing we got here in Louisiana. We got water that runs, and we got water in the atmosphere you can swim in too. You can swim in the lake as well as in the atmosphere some days. Well, let's go ahead and let another Shootin' Show begin. Yeah, we'll Corbine that watermelon. Now, friends, we're going to look at a most unusual gun today, and a lot of you have seen, certainly who've been watching our program, has seen the tremendous American Derringer guns. But we have a different American Derringer. This is the Model 7, and this particular gun is in 44 Special. And what really makes it different, say, from the Model 1, is that the Model 7 is made completely of a special alloy of aluminum, a very tough, and of course it also has some special heat treat considerations that, and I tell you what, it's so humidity so bad I'm going to take my glasses off here, put them on when I get ready to shoot. Anyway, these guns are exactly the same dimension as far as size goes, but the stainless steel gun is quite a bit heavier. I would say, I'm guessing here, I really don't know, but I'm going to say probably 14, 16 ounces there, and I may be mistaken. I probably really ought to look that up in the book, but it's certainly not objectionably heavy for the powerful gun that is of its size. But this Model 7 is in fact 7 ounces. I mean, you're not sure you're holding something, but it is a very nicely made gun. These guns are not inexpensive, and let me tell you what, the 44 Special is not for everyone, because it does have the 44 Special is a powerful cartridge, and it's very comparable in this small gun to the 45 Colt, which is certainly no slouch. So you do have a considerable amount of recoil. Now, the good news is that American Derringer makes the very lightweight, ultra lightweight guns in a couple of other calibers that don't recoil as much. But if you're someone who can handle this powerful 44 Special, it's something that should definitely be considered. You know, these little guns, the American Derringer products are not cheap. They're not inexpensive, and they're darn sure not cheap. They're made of superior quality materials. They work like they're supposed to, and they hold up very durable. They'll shoot for a long time without repair. And the good folks down there, if you do have a problem, well, they're more than happy to correct it, but these guns just typically don't give trouble. You say, well, why would you want a Derringer, say, over a small revolver or a small semi-automatic? Well, there are a couple of reasons, one of which is you can't get a gun this small with the amount of power that these Derringers have, and also there's the ultra simple way these things work. You have 2 shots, you're loaded or you're not. They're very easy to see. They're very simple to manipulate. You don't have to know a whole heck of a lot about guns to safely use one of these. And we'll take a closer look in just a moment. But this 44 Special is something, these guns are a little bit rare as far as you're not going to find them everywhere. They are considerably more expensive, say, than the standard guns, simply due to the forging, the special alloy, in fact, that is used in this very, very tough aluminum arrangement they have here. And of course, while we're talking about Derringers, friends, this could be the most important gun you'll ever own, because this would be the one that you're most likely to have with you when you needed a firearm. And typically, if you need a handgun, you need it real bad at that time, and that's one of the beauty parts about these Derringers. This little gun is small enough and light enough. My goodness, someone could jog or ride a bicycle with this little gun, especially the aluminum model, and literally forget you have it on you. Of course, it would be very comforting if the time came when you needed it to defend your life. And we're going to be looking at we're doing a short feature here on the Derringers today. But this could also be one of the most important books you'll ever own. And this looks like a regular novel. In fact, it started out as a regular novel, but when you open it up, there's a compartment here. As you can see, friends, this is the greatest concealment holster that ever happened, because no one would suspect if you had to walk down the street. And of course, we never advocate breaking the law, but this would qualify for a concealment permit, a pistol or a concealed gun permit. But this is the greatest idea for a holster, because you could have any sort of outfit on and you don't have to hide the gun anywhere on your body. You could just walk down the street with your book in your hand. In fact, you could read the first few pages. If you needed to, you could stop and read part of it, but if you needed the gun, it's right there. Friends, American Derringer is making a special offer to those viewers here on the Shootin' Show. They have a special package of this book and this very nice leather holster. And of course, you can see the little Derringer goes right in it. It has a piece of leather there that goes over the hammer that's adjustable. A very nice, you can carry it on your belt if you want to, a very nice holster. In fact, this holster would normally go for about $19.95 or so just by itself. But they're making a special offer for us here for the book, the holster book, and the leather holster for the Model 1 Derringer there. It'll also fit our Model 7 here for $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling. So $22.95 for the holster and this terrific book. And the good news is about this book, they're not all the same book. There are different titles, different subjects, I suppose, but they are different ones. So everyone that sees a book like this, it's not automatically one of the concealment books for the Derringer. But this is so neat. You know, I can see all kinds of uses. One, you can walk down the street looking completely harmless with your powerful American Derringer here in the book. You could also leave this on a bookshelf at home if you were concerned and you wanted to have a gun handy out in your living room or somewhere where you could have immediate access. This is really an excellent concept. You put this on a shelf with some other books and just memorize the title so you'll pick up the right one. A tremendous idea, though, it really is. And this is something that I think a lot of us would have a lot of interest in. This may be one of the handiest things that we've come across. Of course, you could also store about anything you wanted to in here, from jewels or money or whatever else you needed to really keep out of sight and in a very inconspicuous spot. This is really a terrific idea. So a limited number now. They've got plenty of these books on hand. They have a limited number of these little holsters. So when they run out of holsters, I imagine we'll make another price on the book. But for right now, you can get both of these, the concealment book and the little Derringer holster here, a very nicely made leather holster. Both of them $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling, $22.95 for the pair there. So anyway, back to the issues at hand here. Let's take, in fact, a closer look at the Model 7. Now, friends, you can tell how our Model 7 is so nicely made here. It has a very pleasant matte finish, which I think is desirable for a hideout type gun, a backup gun. And you can tell just how small this gun is. And of course, it is in the 44 Special Chambering. Now then, this is real important. Of course, it's written here on the side. It says, before engage safety before loading there. And they're not kidding, because that's how to safely operate these little guns. And the way it works, you have a crossbolt safety here. When the gun is cocked, it automatically disengages so the gun can be fired. So the first thing you do, you pull the gun back a little, you pull the hammer back a little bit there and engage the safety, push it in, and it locks the hammer there in place. And of course it will disengage when you start to cock the hammer. But that's the first thing we do before loading. And of course the way this works is on the Remington pattern. You flip the lever around there and just pull the barrels up. And of course, two very large holes, the 44 Special. Every piece of these guns is really set off with quality work. They do such a nice job down there. Of course, this is your ejector to push out your spent cartridge cases. And of course, the gun locks solidly in place. A very strong and durable design. Now, what happens is when you cock the gun and fire one chamber, the hammer automatically resets itself when it's cocked the next time to fire the other chamber. It's an ingenious design. It's darn near as foolproof as any firearms design could be.
Friends, all of us as shooting enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Shotgun News, Post Office Box 669, Hastings, Nebraska, the zip code 68902, their phone number, area 402-463-4589, MasterCard or Visa for subscriptions only. Now call them at 1-800-345-6923.
All right, friends, let's load our 44 Special Model 7. And of course, what we want to do is before we load the gun, we'll push that safety in place and have it set. And I just did that. And let me caution you, this is important. I wouldn't shoot anything over the factory standard velocity loading in one of these ultra lightweight guns. Not because they won't stand it, because they will. It's a very tough alloy. But because the recoil is going to be somewhat stiff simply due to the weight of the gun. This is a gun that you're not going to shoot a lot. What you need to do is have another Derringer if you really want to practice and become good at it, like this 45 410. And you carry this one. Now, I would go out and shoot it enough so I'd become familiar with it. I would not recommend the 44 Special for a lady, simply due to it does have pretty stiff recoil. For someone of a slighter build, or the ladies, they do make these guns in other calibers, such as 38 Special, 22 Magnum, some very, very fine defensive calibers. But this is the big boomer of the lightweight gun, so let's take a look at it here. And go ahead and check my hearing protection, be sure it's in real good. Got our target here, and yes, indeed. Yep. Like I said, not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's not going to injure your hand, but like I said, you wouldn't want to go out and shoot it all day. So here we go. So that's what we're really interested in, is this is a defensive gun, of course. And you know, tell you the truth, friends, if in a confrontation, if you were having to defend your life, I really don't think you'd be that terribly concerned about the kick of this little gun, because you're going to be more interested in stopping whoever is attacking you. And it'll darn sure do that. It's easy to hit with, and of course these are designed for very close, up close and personal usage, but they darn sure work.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now, friends, we are extremely pleased to be working with one of the finest magazines that you can find in the United States today, and it's called The New American. And the April 4 issue, which you see on your screen, covers issues like toward a police state, using a national epidemic of crime and violence as a justification, media pundits and collectivist politicians are aggressively campaigning to disarm private citizens and strengthen federal law enforcement powers. Yes, friends, this is our type of magazine, mostly because it's true. Now, these people at the New American Magazine are making a special offer available to the Shootin' Show audience for $22 for a 6-month subscription, including the April 4 issue here, which deals with gun control and the things that go on with the politicians in Washington on how they're literally trying to disarm the United States population. Now, trust me on this one. If you're a gun owner, you need to get this issue of the New American. And friends, this magazine comes twice a month. This is really a bargain. They cover all sorts of subjects, such as the Somalian quagmire, as you can see. And how about national service, if you really want the true picture of what this national service is all about. How about the conservative index for the 103rd Congress, subjects like terror in Haiti, the real Aristide. How about Bill Clinton and a question of character, which is most important to most of us, certainly as conservative Americans. And here's a tremendous article on the New World Army. Now, friends, this is one of the finest publications that I think you could find in print anywhere today. It is really a bargain. $22 for 6 months of the New American Magazine. And remember, this is 13 issues, including this powerful gun control issue. And friends, I don't think you'll be disappointed. This, in fact, if you want to be informed about what's going on in the United States and all sorts of issues that are so important to every last one of us who are really patriotic citizens, you need to start getting the New American. Now, to get it, you can call them at 1-800-727-TRUE, and those numbers are 8783, 1-800-727-8783, and be sure and tell them that you saw it here on the Shootin' Show. It is such an important publication for our time, friends, and to really be informed, if you want to know the truth about what's going on in this country and around the world, again, you need the New American. 1-800-727-TRUE 8783, the New American.
All right, friends, we've reloaded our Model 7 here, 44 Special. We have a 2x4 out here, so let's go and see what kind of penetration we get with this little gun. Now, friends, what it did, that big 44 caliber bullet literally penetrated over an inch in this hardwood 2x4. It's a very, very hard piece of treated lumber there, and most impressive performance. Enough penetration, but not enough to be dangerous to a bystander. I tell you what, friends, this little Model 7 is most impressive. Again, it's not something you'd want to shoot all day, but let's go back to our standard Model 1 in 45 and 410. And you've heard me say before, you can shoot these guns, and this is a big favorite of Kurt's. He likes these guns. He's had one for a long time, and that's pretty good testimonial, because Kurt has a good number of guns, and he is certainly as much as an enthusiast as I am, and for him to give these guns a good bill of health certainly is worth paying attention to. But the Model 1 here will take the 410 shot shell, also the 45 Colt, which is, again, a powerful cartridge. And you get the most power per square inch here, I suppose, of handgun with these super-made little guns. Now then, my personal favorite load to carry in the Model 1 here is this 410 buckshot model. And what this amounts to, you have 3 35 caliber pellets stacked on top of each other in this 410 shell. So what happens when you shoot a target, we'll go ahead and load it here and get in position. When you shoot a target, instead of having one projectile hit or a whole bunch of little ones, you have 3 large holes in the target, like so. So you have literally quite a coverage in the target there with that buckshot. Well, here we have all 3 right here, and there's the wad that went through. Most impressive. It is really an impressive package. All right, friends, let's see that buckshot on paper once again. Of course, you can see 3 very prominent holes here. Really be an excellent option for defense. Now then, friends, let's take a look at our buckshot from our Model 1 here on the water jug. Now then, friends, of course, this Model 1 will take the .45 Colt or the .410 buckshot. Of course, you can see that's a pretty nice, well, like I said, 35 caliber ball there. So let's go ahead and load our M1, and I've already put it on safe. Remember, all you have to do before you even think about loading the gun, be sure that safety is pressed in and the hammer down. It has a catch there that is very nicely done. Pull our latch back, and of course the latch is on a spring, so it's not just going to come open. You press it and then turn the latch when the spring on the plunger here on this side is pressed in. Let's go ahead and put a couple of buckshot loads in there. Of course, we'll close our gun and be sure it's latched. Now then, of course, our sights here are somewhat rudimentary, but they do work. And of course, this gun is designed to be used up close and personal. But let's see. Now, here's the procedure I use for shooting this little gun. Now, it's no joke. It has some recoil, but it's easily mastered by anyone of reasonable strength and motor function in their hands. Be sure and keep your thumb down here low, away from the safety. Just keep it low here. All right, now then, let's aim at our sight. Yes, indeed. And of course, see 3 holes there with 1 shot. Let's shoot it again. Along about the same situation there, we'll aim toward the middle. Now then, friends, what we have there is 6 large holes with 2 shots from our Model 1 here. Well, friends, you're asking, is this Derringer Day? Well, no, it's not, but although it could be, because these guns are certainly worthy of a lot of consideration. I didn't shoot the .45 Colt and the little gun, but let me show you. Its recoil is just not bad at all. The 45 Colt cartridge. Woo! Yeah, a little fire, but it just doesn't hurt your hand as long as you grip it properly. Like so. And I will apply our safety just because that's what I always do anyway. Friends, I tell you what, the reason we're talking so much about these little guns is this could be the most important firearm you ever own. Simply because it's so small, you could always have it with you, but it's potent enough that it can really save your life. It could really get the job done of a defensive handgun if that is in fact what you need. And most of us do, with the increasingly weird situations that most of us face around the country and a lot of the cities and even now some of the rural areas. It just doesn't pay, if you can certainly be legal, it just doesn't pay to go unarmed. And remember, each one of us represents about 20 people. We had a lady a while back that we were training, and I said, think of yourself as 20 people. You've got your husband, your children, your parents, your neighbors, your cousins, people you work with, people that really care about you. So think of all the people that will be harmed if in fact you are. And this is one of the best ideas, and these little Derringers are so well made and so accessible when you may need it. To find out information on these great American Derringers, of course, they have a number of different styles. They have a number of different calibers. This is probably my favorite right here, the Model 1 in .45 Colt and .410. Here's how to find out information on them, because a lot of you really need one of these, whether you know it or not. And once you get one, you're going to find out how useful it may be to you. You know, friends, this is such a great bargain. This is a very nice book, and as I said earlier, the greatest concealment holster that's ever happened. You open the book up, and of course here is your gun on the inside. Now, as we said earlier, this will be useful for a lot of different things. The book, excluding the gun now, the gun costs extra. The book and this very nice leather holster here, American Derringer is running a special for our Shootin' Show audience. The total of the two will be $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling, for a total of $22.95 for the book and the little leather holster, and either one of them are worth easily more than that. And of course, the tremendous American Derringer guns. Now, here's what you need to do. One, you can order the book and the holster here. They do have a limited number of these leather holsters available with the book. But for information on the entire line of American Derringer products, here's what you need to do. You need to call them at 1-800-642-7817. Again, 1-800-642-7817, and ask them to get the information flyer on their complete product line. And also, if you want to order the book and the holster here for a total of $22.95, $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling, they'll be very pleased to help you. So this will be something great for a lot of us. A lot of us need these things, friends. If you don't have one of these fine Derringers, you ought to. And certainly they have a good number of these books in stock. They're not all the same book. There are several different titles that they have. So, hey, give them a call today.
Hi, I'm Bill McIntyre with another update from Capitol Hill, just outside Washington, D.C. at the new NRA headquarters. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is preparing to infiltrate gun shows across the country. Special agents in charge and division chiefs received a memo which outlined a plan which called for, and I quote, surveys conducted in a covert manner. In order to observe the greatest number of violations, dealers and others should be engaged in conversation as appropriate in order to identify violations. I hope there's no one in the listening audience that's shocked or surprised. The writing has been on the wall for some time. The Clinton administration and the gun grabbers are out to get your guns. Not just some of your guns, but all your guns. Gun shows have been a source of family enjoyment for years, but now President Clinton and the BATF are out to stigmatize yet another American firearms tradition. Stay tuned for more information on this story.
Hello, friends. I'm out here practicing for one of the most fun hunting sports that you can imagine. You can use a variety of action types. You have access to year-round hunting, some cases no limits, and you get to use a variety of guns. Well, you know what I'm talking about is the sport of varmint hunting. And we need to introduce you folks to varmint hunting. A lot of us have been doing it for years and didn't know what to call it, but we especially need to introduce you to the Varmint Hunter magazine.
You know, friends, varmint hunting is one of the fastest growing shooting sports in the world. In fact, the Varmint Hunters Association, they have members in all 50 states and 19 foreign countries. Now, their magazine focuses on varmint hunting and super accurate reloading and shooting techniques. Plus, there's a lot of humor, a lot of interesting cartoons and humorous articles in the magazine. Incidentally, the magazine is large, it's very high quality, and something I think you're really going to enjoy reading, and it's published quarterly. It's only $24 for an associate membership in the Varmint Hunters Association. And look, for information, now you ought to do this. If you're a dedicated shooter, this is something I think you're really going to enjoy. For information on the Varmint Hunter magazine and the Varmint Hunters Association, call them at 1-800-528-4868. Again, 1-800-528-4868. Be sure and tell them you saw it on the Shootin' Show.
A frightening sight, and there's absolutely no reason for ever letting this happen in your home. I'm Grits Gresham. Now listen, if you have firearms in your home, be sure they're unloaded and secured in a safe place. And firearms and ammunition should be kept separate from each other. It's as simple as that, and it's your responsibility. This message is a public service of this station and the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. You know, Judge,
how do you like the book from American Derringer, our holster book? You like that?
Well, that's a dilly do.
Isn't that great?
That's a dilly do. I don't think the public has seen that yet. Here it is. You remember the movie when Robert Mitchum played the part of a minister who's always carrying a book around, and that book had a Derringer in it.
Great idea. And one, I tell you what, from the way things are going with our government, we all may need to buy these books before too long. Sir, I think you have some information.
What are they going to do with that book, Johnny?
Well, American Derringer is offering this at a special price to our viewers, including the little holster. I don't have it handy, the little holster for the Derringer, a leather holster. Total $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling, $22.95 for the book and the leather holster.
But no Derringer.
No Derringer, no.
No Derringer, okay.
But the Derringers are certainly at a fair price. But you know, you could store jewelry, you could store money, anything you really needed to be accessible yet out of the way, I think. And let me remind you folks, they're not all the same book. They have a number of different covers, a number of different topics the books were on. So you could heck buy 2 or 3 of them and carry one day and one the next day, so it wouldn't look, if anyone got curious, you wouldn't always have the same book with you. They say, hey, it takes a long time to read that book. You can go for years on it. But a great idea. A lot of ladies who have to walk in areas that they're really uncomfortable and they don't feel comfortable having the gun in their purse, where they can walk along with the book in their hands and instantaneously have the gun. So really a great idea from American Derringer. Well, sir, you have some information from our good friend Larry Pratt, I believe, at Gun Owners of America in Washington.
Oh, Johnny, I'm loaded with information. But first, let me show everybody. We've been talking about the crime bill. Now, a whole lot of stuff in the papers. Here is a copy of the crime bill. 500 plus pages of it. Single-spaced. Now,
That's outrageous.
well, of course it's outrageous. I'm suspicious of anything that can't be said in 5 single-spaced pages. They really ought to be double-spaced. But they've got this thing in here, and the way they've got it bounced around, it reads like the Internal Revenue Code. This sentence amends a certain section of the law by exchanging a couple of words in it. You got to go back and look at all of that stuff to figure out what this thing is doing. The crime bill is something that is not a done deal. Remember, that's the bill that has all the gun bans in it, has the magazine bans, and so forth. And Gun Owners of America sent me some stuff at my request here the other day. Let me tell you what they're doing. And this is just loaded with information. Representative Brooks from Texas, just a district in around and near the Houston area. Representative Brooks is chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. Now, he's hepped on the crime bill because it's really his bill. But he can get what he wants in that bill because he can refuse to even call hearings on it. He can bottle that bill up forever and 7 days until he gets an agreement from people about what's not going to be in it. Now, Representative Brooks needs to be called, and his telephone number, let me give you what this is, and I'll give it to you slow. It's area code 202, and the telephone number is 225-6565. Now let's do that again. Area code 202, that's area code for Washington, D.C., so everybody has an area code of 202 up there. 225-6565. And you can fax it to him at the same number except the last 4 digits are 1584 instead of 6565. Let's do that again. 202-225, and the direct line is 6565, and the fax line is 1584. Listeners, we need to inundate him with faxes. Now, Gun Owners of America are after Senator Dole to make sure he leads a filibuster in the Senate if this thing gets out of conference committee with any of these bad provisions in it. And in fact, Gun Owners of America said just filibuster the crime bill because it's a horrible bill to start with, and I think it is. The big points that people have been fussing about is the racial quota provision for capital punishment, which means it would outlaw capital punishment completely. And, of course, the gun bans. Now, they have been picketing Senator Dole.
You mean picketing, showing up at a speech that he makes?
2 times in 4 days last week. They said they do it more often, but they don't always have his itinerary. If you know where Mr. Dole is going to be appearing somewhere, let Gun Owners of America know, and they will picket him and agitate trying to get him to lead that filibuster. Gun Owners of America is 703, area code 703-321-8585. And you can give them the information. If you really want to talk to the man that knows everything there, talk to Larry Pratt, because he's the head of it, and he is a great guy.
And let me interject here. If you want to join our Shoot and Show Gun Club, we can also enlist you in Gun Owners of America, which is one of the finest large organizations, in fact, maybe even the finest large gun, pro-gun organization. We can also sign you up for them for an extra $10, our $25 Shoot and Show Gun Club fee, plus an extra $10 will let you join both of our organizations, and they really are a deserving bunch.
Now here's something else they sent me. They sent me a list of congressmen who either flip-flopped on the gun issue or who were elected, supported the gun ban, and who were elected by less than 53% in their last election. And those people are particularly susceptible to pressure. Now, let me tell you who some of these people are. For our listeners in Arizona, English in Arizona. For our listeners in California, Condit, C-O-N-D-I-T, Horn, and Huffington. Those are people to get after. In Florida, Hutto and Shaw. In Florida, Hutto and Shaw. In Georgia, Darden and Johnson. In Illinois, Hyde. That's Henry Hyde, and Henry Hyde should have been on our side, so he needs to be pressured. In Indiana, Roma. In Kansas, Glickman and Slattery. Now, I know to most of you these names don't mean anything, but if you happen to live in their districts, it does mean something, and you can do a lot about it. In Maine, Blute, B-L-U-T-E. In Maryland, Gilchrist. In Michigan, Bonoir, B-O-N-O-I-R, Bonoir we call it here in Louisiana, Benoit I guess he calls it up there. Carr and Ford. In Minnesota, Minge, M-I-N-G-E. In Missouri, Gephardt. I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised. You know, Gephardt's a power in the House, but he was elected by.
Did not have a large margin at all.
He didn't have any large margin at all. So, these people that don't have large margins are susceptible to really bringing some pressure on them.
And will actually pay more attention to letters and phone calls than some of these other nuts in the House, right?
Well, either that or else they haven't been paying attention to them, and that's why they didn't get big majorities.
Okay.
In Nebraska, Hoagland. In New Hampshire, Swett, S-W-E-T-T. In New Jersey, Franks and Pallone and Sexton. And of course, boy, in New York, we got 4 of them. B-O-E-H-L-E-R-T, Boglert. H-O-U-G-H-T-O-N, Houghton. L-A-Z-I-O, Lazio. And M-O-L-I-N-A-R-I, Molinari. Those 4 in New York. Applegate in Ohio. K-A-S-I-C-H, Cash in Ohio. Price in Ohio. McCurdy in Oklahoma. Greenwood in Pennsylvania. Mizvinsky in Pennsylvania. Ridge in Pennsylvania. South Carolina, Derrick and Spratt, S-P-R-A-T-T. In Texas, Andrews and Coleman and Edwards. And don't forget Brooks in Texas. In Utah, Shepard. In Washington, Foley. He's the Speaker of the House. And he's fighting a battle up there, Foley. And Inslee, I-N-S-L-E-E. And Klug in Wisconsin. We don't need to talk about these senators except for Backus in Montana. Boy, if I was in Montana, I'd run against him. But I've given you Brooks's number. I've given you Dole's number. Let's do Dole again. 202-224-6521 is his direct line, and 224-6721
That's his fax line.
is his fax line. Now, here is a particularly startling thing that came to me from Gun Owners of America. July 21st, an actual copy of the questionnaire being administered on a Marine base in 29 Palms, California, has come into our possession. It asks soldiers if they would obey UN officers, not United States officers, UN officers, and if they would confiscate firearms from American citizens and shoot those who resist. That is one hellacious type of question to be asking Marines in the United States of America. The latter point is corroborated by numerous Navy SEALs who personally reported to us that they have been asked the same questions. This is dangerous. This is highly dangerous. It's dangerous to our whole system of government.
And in fact, our way of life as Americans. Friends, these are things that need to be talked about, because you know what, we can do something about it now. We can't lay around and wait and not make these phone calls, not participate in elections, because if we let these people get away with this, if we literally lose control of our country to these knuckleheads in Washington, these socialist, Nazi socialist, one world government types. You know, I heard on the radio today, a local talk show, someone called in and they were talking to the editor of the local paper, in fact. And they asked, well, what is the Trilateral Commission? What is the New World Order? And the editor of this paper had not a clue what the term New World Order, their New World system of domination, had not a clue. People are not informed about these things, and we've got to do it. Friends, we cannot give up this country, and we're darn sure we're not going to let them get away with it.
Well, of course, you know, Johnny, the difference in the United States of America and every other country in the world is that all the other countries of the world before the U.S. was founded were either dictatorships or monarchies or some sort of totalitarian government. Our people left England because they disliked this. They disliked government. And when they founded the United States and wrote a constitution for the United States, it's a document that basically distrusts government. And believe me, if you all don't distrust government by now, there isn't any hope for you. There really isn't any hope for you. And just check out the Post Office Department.
Well, you're exactly right. And those of us who watch this program can spread our message. We can get more people to watch our show by calling your local cable company if you're watching us on satellite. Tell them the Outdoor Channel is free for the asking and taking for all local TV and local cable companies. This is so important. You know, Judge, it has to be dealt with now rather than later, while we still can deal with it now.
Well, we've got some good news here too, Johnny, because Gun Owners of America, great organization, has come up with an idea of putting out little tabloids or flyers. Now, tabloids are better. They're just little folded sheets that have page, 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 and page. That's 4 pages, and they outline all the things that are wrong with a particular representative, and they're distributed in that representative's district. And they've given some people fits about it because they don't like those tabloids being distributed. And Gun Owners of America will fax you all of the information on tabloids or mail it to you if you'll call them. And their number is 703, get this, 703 area code, 321-8408. Or you can ask for them in Springfield, Virginia. Information will give it to you. One other thing that they've given us. There's a Republican representative in California named Dorman, D-O-R-M-A-N.
Bob Dornan, yeah, okay.
And he is a top-notch good man.
Yes.
And he is considering launching a full-scale investigation into the government using American troops to disarm citizens. And we need to get Representative Dorman to move from considering this action into actually doing it.
That's Bob Dornan. He was, if memory serves me correct, fighter pilot. a very ardent supporter of our military, an ardent supporter of our way of life. We've heard him speak several times on Rush's program. So that's a great idea.
Well, they want us to fax Congressman Dorman, or write him a letter, House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., Bob Dorman, and urge him to make the investigation of the Marine base questionnaire a top priority. Now, here's the clue to it. Dorman has made 17 trips to New Hampshire. And he's from California. 17 trips to New Hampshire. That means he might be considering a run for the presidency. And boy, I'm telling you, this means everybody in the country is a potential constituent of his. Mm-hmm. And he is a great guy. He will support our gun rights. And you can fax him, again, at 202. That's everybody in Washington is 202. And his fax number is 225-1461. And his telephone number is 225-2965. Now, I'll repeat those for you because we really need to do this. It doesn't cost much to make a phone call. It doesn't take much time. That's Bob Dorman, 225-1461 for a fax.
Fax line.
And telephone number 225-2965. How's our Christmas fund coming along, Judge?
Well, we have a few more letters there, Judge. People are, you know, it's tied all over, but we do appreciate everyone who has sent in Christmas fund donations. Certainly, we really do appreciate that, and please keep that up, whatever you can. Also, we've got some of the neatest people have sent in tapes. It's inspirational to see the Shootin' Show lady tapes because some of these people are so dedicated. We're talking, and friends, we're going to pat you on the back. Our audience has got to be some of the finest people in America. We have some salt-of-the-earth people who watch this program. We really do appreciate your participation. And please, we've still got a couple of weeks left. We're still accepting tapes for the Shootin' Show Lady Contest. So please join our Shootin' Show Gun Club today if possible. It definitely helps us stay on the air. It helps us reach more people. Friends, we're not ready to give up this country to the people that want to take it away from us. We can't allow this to happen.
But it's not going to be accomplished just by saying that,
That's right.
Johnny.
That's right.
The people that count on it,
Right.
the people that can make a difference are you that are listening to this, and get on the telephone and call your congressman and raise holy Cain about it.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. You know, friends, it's rare in any field of manufacture that one particular company has a clear-cut advantage over the others. Well, in this case, it's Corbin Ammunition, Corbin Bullet Company, because they make the best handgun, long gun, and even some specialty caliber ammunition that's been real hard to get in the past. If you really want your handgun or rifle to perform at their absolute best, you need to find some Corbin ammunition. For information on where you can get Corbin, information on their product line, call them. Corbin Bullet Company, 1-800-626-7266. Again, give them a call. It's a free call, 1-800-626-7266. Trust me on this one. Corbin is the best there is.
Well, friends, we're going to look at one of the best general-purpose revolvers. In fact, for that matter, one of the best handguns combinations that I'm certainly aware of. This is the Ruger GP100. And I really don't know what GP stands for. Maybe that's what it is, general purpose, 100%. Well, it'll darn sure do about anything you want a handgun to do pretty darn well. One of the things that has really come to our realization over these many years is the durability and ruggedness of the quality that Ruger builds into their handguns. And no, this is not a Ruger commercial. In fact, Ruger has never loaned us a gun or done us any favors, or for that matter ever spent 10 cents on advertisement, but these are, regardless about that, these are very fine handguns. Anything Ruger makes really has a reputation for quality and durability, especially durability. The GP100 is one of the very best .357 Magnums of its type. Honestly, the Security 6 series that was previous to this gun was a very fine handgun. I really don't know what improvements they needed to make on the Security 6. However, the GP100 is a little bigger. It has a little more metal involved. One, you have a heavier barrel, you have an underlug, very similar to the 686 Smith & Wesson. And of course, the underlug barrel was started back with the Colt Python, as far as I know. There may have been some custom guns before that with an underlug there, but a heavy barrel, one to help dampen recoil, also to make the barrel a little stiffer for increased accuracy. This is, of course, a 6-shot gun. Take our Corbon ammunition out there with adjustable sights, and it is really a well thought out, very nice package. It has rubber grips with wood inserts, which actually makes for a real nice looking grip. And of course, Ruger, they sort of do things their own way, and that's fine because this is one of the things they've done that really does work. Friends, you can tell how nicely this Ruger's made. It has the very comfortable rubber grips here, which help to reduce recoil. And you can see it has a set of good combat sights. The front sight, and of course we know, we'll double check, we know this gun's unloaded. The front sight is replaceable. They have several different options available. Of course, Ruger has pioneered the investment casting process, so really no one can say that anybody builds a stronger gun or a better quality metal gun than Ruger does. The cylinder unlatches. See, the push the button here, cylinder comes out. Here is the front latch down there by my thumbnail, and of course it will also latch in the rear. A very nicely thought out package, very rugged and durable, extremely accurate. This gun is the fastest 4-inch .357 I have encountered. Some of the Corbon loads we chronographed a few days ago out of it ran about 1,550 feet per second, extreme power. And of course this gun also is showing a very fine accuracy. Most of these guns will shoot into, say a 5-shot group, 25 yards, 1.5 inches, something like that. Well, let's go ahead and load our GP100. Take a Safari Land speed loader and some Corbon ammunition and press, and of course the gun's loaded almost instantaneously. And let's take a shot with it. Let's see if we can't Corbon that watermelon out there at about 25 yards. Yes, in fact, still raining watermelon pieces. You know, friends, honestly, the GP100 is roughly the same size as the Colt government model, which a lot of us are familiar with. And the GP100 in a full charge .357 Magnum, of course, carries more power per cartridge than the 45 ACP. You have a little different principle. One, we have a lighter bullet moving at a much higher velocity than the 45. The .357 Magnum has a 125 typically to 158 grain bullet. Of course, there are some other grain bullets available, but the .357 is roughly comparable. In fact, this loaded GP100 is a little bit lighter than our loaded Colt government model. So let's run a little experiment. I have our Pro timer on here, and as far as power goes, let's compare shooting the two guns, 3 shots on each target at close range, and let's see. Let's compare the .357 to the 45 again with full charge loads. Start from a low ready position. Okay, 1.09 seconds, which is we have 3 good hits. The 45 doesn't have quite as much recoil, but in our GP100 with the grip and the way the gun's designed, we don't have much of a recoil problem. So let's compare the two, just give you an idea of what it is in my hands today anyway. These comparisons seem to be a very popular piece on our program from the mail and the phone calls we get. So let's take a look. 1.09 seconds for 3 shots. Let's try the same drill with our GP100. The low ready position. Punch our timer. Well, all good hits. One here and here. How about 1.10, a hundredth of a second longer with a .357 Magnum? So that's not enough. The next time it might be reversed. It might be 1.10 for the Colt and 1.09 for this. So really on multiple targets, there's no appreciable difference in speed as far as shooting. And again, you get quite a bit more power with a .357. Now, what's the point of this? Well, a lot of people are buying semi-automatics. A lot of police officers are turning in their .357 Magnum revolvers for high-capacity guns of 9mm, 40 caliber, even 45 ACP. And the point is, they're giving up most of the time power per shot. And as I've said many times on this program, we don't have enough bullets to spray an entire area. We don't have a minigun that shoots 6,000 rounds a minute, and we don't have the ammunition truck carrying all the ammunition to spray an area. What we have to think about is we've got to place our shots accurately, because one, if you had to shoot at an intruder or someone who was attacking you, you don't want bullets going over the entire area. You want them to hit your target. And the only way that you can learn to hit your target is to come out on the range and shoot your gun. You know, this is one of the things that we've let slide as a responsibility in this country, the responsibility to learn to use our weapons properly. And there's no more important an area than in handguns, because these are the guns you'll probably have available or probably have with you. Certainly if you're a police officer, your handgun is going to be literally the difference between you getting injured or killed or not. So the point is to go out and qualify for your police officer, go out and shoot once a year. That's not enough. You need to be able to accurately and rapidly shoot the gun if you have to and get a reasonable hit. So that's certainly a point I want to make. As far as speed of fire, there's no practical difference between a good revolver and a good semi-automatic. What makes the difference is you being able to hit your target. That is so important. There is no substitute for marksmanship.
Friends, you can communicate with the Shootin' Show on CompuServe now. Our number is 735-42-3024. Again, 735-42-3024. And to join our Shootin' Show Gun Club, call us at 1-800-895-7916. We take Visa, MasterCard, check, money order, whatever you got. Join today, friends. We need to reach as many people as we can. Well, friends, it's happened again. We've run out of time for today's program. From Kurt, the judge, myself, we want to thank everyone for being with us for today's program, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Shootin' Show.